Well, thanks, Norman. I have the somewhat awesome task of trying to wrap up what's been an incredible 2 days. I want to begin that by thanking Norman Swan for his sterling work today in keeping us to task. And Norman was asked by the conveners of the conference to be challenging and provocative. And he's done that really well. He's asked some really tough questions and pushed people. And I think that's part of the success of this meeting. So first thing I want to do is give everyone a chance to thank Norman. Yeah, you have to bear with me because before I finish, I have got a few other people that I want to thank. I feel really proud of Sphere for the way it is operating, the questions it's asking, the things it's doing, the spirit of partnership and collaboration that it's demonstrating. And I think that has come through in this meeting. It's been an incredibly wide-ranging agenda that's been covered. Before I forget, I'm particularly pleased that the last comment, just about the last comment on this panel, came from Gary Jennings, who is the director of Sydney Health Partners. And Helen, of course, was also on the panel. The spirit of partnership across this city and across Australia is the key. And in discussions over the last few months, Sphere has met with Sydney Health Partners. And actually, the last time Gary, Paul McClintock, Chris and myself met, we did talk about the idea that next year, this meeting would be a meeting of Sydney Health Partners and Sphere together. And I think that we can build on the success of today and have a meeting in a year's time, or perhaps a little bit longer, which pulls both of the academic health science partnerships in Sydney together, because there is so much more that we can achieve in working together. And that brings me to the challenge that Norman put into that last discussion. What is our partnership delivering? It's really hard with academic health science partnerships to answer that question, but I believe that delivering great healthcare is all about people. It's about the people that you're trying to care for, but it's also about the people involved in delivering that care. And that partnership, in the way Sphere is demonstrating it, is the most powerful way to drive changes in behaviour. And I hope that people can sense that in this meeting and the work Sphere is doing. And it is about changing people's behaviour in the way they demonstrate compassion in healthcare, but it's about changing behaviour in every way. It's about the way we manage our systems. It's about getting equity into healthcare. It's about the level of ambition that we collectively show. It's about being innovative and creative in the way we deliver it. And it's about holding each other to account. All of that can be advanced through partnership. So the answer to Norman's really good question is not a simple one. It has to be in everything we do, through a generosity and partnership through everything we do. And we've seen so many aspects of that in the last 2 days. We started off with the innovation agenda. We had Charlie Day talking about the national innovation agenda. We had a fantastic panel discussion, great presentations. We then went on to the power and potential of personalised medicine, genomics, big data, and of collaborative approaches there. Now, some meetings would have pretty much just stopped at that point. This meeting covered lots of other areas. We had addressing health delivery issues, Indigenous care, health service organisation. We had examples from New South Wales, from the UK, from Canada. We had public and private examples, and we had a wonderful talk. Just when I thought it couldn't get any better, at the end of yesterday, we had that wonderful talk about leadership and passion for change and improvement. And actually, I thought at the end of the first day, we're going to have an audio-visual presentation. Oh my God, it's going to be awful. It was absolutely stunningly brilliant. I hope we got a recording of that, because anyone who didn't get to see it, it's really worth watching. And then we went on with planning in the context of Greater Sydney. What can organisations like ours do for Greater Sydney and New South Wales, and the incredible potential that there is there. You wouldn't expect to get that at a meeting on, your average meeting on healthcare. And then the challenges of delivering truly compassionate, patient-centred care, listening, and the idea that I think we really do need to follow up on, the idea of the patient advocate or navigator. I think that's a very powerful idea, and it's something we can act on. The power of integration through the Australian Health Research Alliance. Amazing things. So it has been a fantastic meeting, and all of that interspersed with artistic and creative things. And yeah, the power of that NIDA presentation, where are we? And you know, it's pretty hard to be interspersed between the first and the second act of that. So it has been an extraordinary meeting, and I want to finish off by thanking all of our speakers. I'm not going to name all of the speakers. I've run through the things they covered. We have had, I don't think there's been one bad talk in this meeting. It has been spectacular. And then the organisers. So that's my last thing, Norman, before you cut me off, as you rightly should do very soon. Organising a meeting like this is an extraordinary effort. It's particularly hard when you've got to pull together resources and funding and maintain the momentum. This idea of this meeting started 18 months ago, I know that. The first two people that I want to single out for their bravery in pushing on with this, even when there were lots and lots of obstacles, are Bob Clark and Melissa North-Tate. They've done a magnificent job. When they faltered a little bit in the early days, they were magnificently supported by the initial director of Sphere, Professor Les Bouquet. I don't know if Les is here, but Les really did provide amazing support. And then they've been supported magnificently by our director, Chris Levy, and our COO, Karen Joyner. So a round of applause for all of them. And by the other members, two other members of the organising committee, Professor Michelle Haber and James Kemp. My thanks to them. So I'll stop here, but just give you a last chance to thank all of our speakers and all of the organising committee for this wonderful meeting.